Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. I'm Cindy Daychuck with Queen Bee Creations, and today we are going to do something with this. This is a thrifted item. These are really common, these kind of chrome wire baskets. And I have to tell you, they're pretty versatile. I tend to pick them up only because there's so many things that you can do with them. One thing I've been thinking about trying that I have not done with them is what we're going to do today. But to start with, I don't want the chrome. So I'm going to take off my white jacket and I'm going to take it to the back and I'm going to spray paint it black, just so that it's not this bright, shiny color. So I'm going to get it spray painted black, and then we'll be back to start the actual craft part. This is our basket now that it has been spray painted. I got to tell you, it already looks better just in the black. What I have is thick jute. I'm hoping it's enough. And what we're going to do is we are going to start weaving it. Now, when you see this base, rather than trying to take it out and over, I am going to start here. I'm not going to worry about this centerpiece yet. I have a different idea of how I could look at finishing that, because this is going to be too thick for that. But I am going to take this up and through and around. Now, ultimately, I'm going to have to start taking this through each of the sections. But I want to try and get this started by just weaving it. And that's really all that we're doing for making this basket, is we're just going to be weaving all these sections around and through. And that's why you want to look for a basket that has kind of these sort of slats or rungs that you're going to be able to work through and have this work in some kind of a woven fashion. If they're too far apart, then it's really not going to be kind of sturdy, or you're not going to get that woven look to it. If they're too close, well, you know what? You're still fine. You're just going to use a smaller or thinner cording. So you just kind of judge the size that you're using accordingly. So this I'm just taking down so you can see already, see the nice weave. Once the base is done, you just start moving up the body of the bowl, and I'm passing, and here's the fun part, you have to pass that entire roll of twine or jute or string, whatever you're using, in between each of the rungs as you move it up. What you want to do is make sure that you are pushing them down tight toward the center, so you're eliminating any gaps. You're keeping it nice and tight, so that as you keep adding more and more, you're going to have a nice feel to the bowl. It's not going to have sags. It's going to be very solid construction more than anything else. And you just want to make sure that as you're going, that you're not skipping rungs, and you'll be able to see the pattern happening and know when you mess up. And I gotta tell you, I did a couple of times, but you just keep going. As I go to finish this strand, what I am going to do is anchor it a little bit in place with a little bit of hot glue, but I want to be careful as I'm applying it here. I really don't want it to be something that is viewed, right? So it's there holding it in place, but I don't necessarily want everybody to know that. And it's good because we don't need tons of it to do that. All right. Now, oh my goodness. I'm not convinced this is going to make it all the way up. I doubt it, because this is the more narrow part. This gets wider, diameter-wise, so it's going to take more. Now, I'm leaving this little tail right now just because it's got plastic wrap on it. So it's kind of holding that in place while I go and see. What I'm thinking is maybe I've got a different color of rope that's maybe sort of the same thickness, and I can do a couple of rows of that and then finish off with the jute, and I end up with a striped one. Sometimes that's the way it goes, right? You just improvise along the way. All right, what I do have is this cord. It is thinner. I either have way thicker or thinner. So I'm gonna go thinner because why not? And I'm going to start it very similar to how I finished the other cord. And I'm going to want to, you know what, I'm gonna wanna undo the plastic wrap on this. Knocking everything over. Okay, so get rid of that tape. So that I can kind of take that down. And then I'll be able to start the next one below it. So I just want to take this one across the front. Okay, that's a little more awkward. And glue that down so that I can start I'm just going to put a dab of glue on the end of this. And let it cool, just to maybe keep it from starting to fray. And then we're going to start it where we left off. Now, the challenge with this one is that it's on this big honking reel, and I'm not going to be able to pass this through. So I have to kind of roughly judge, you know, how much I'm going to need to at least do, that's 2. Three. Okay, let's go with that. And it will be what it will be, especially because they just cut it. So it is definite now. Okay, so now that it has dried over on this side, I can start weaving it the same way, and then I will end it, glue it off, start the next one once I've got this going. But we'll see what it looks like with kind of alternating into the cream. And you know what? Just don't be afraid to kind of go with it. I didn't know that I was going to be doing this, and then I went with what cording I had, and then when I realized that it's not going to be enough, let's switch it up. And sometimes that's actually looking kind of cute. So sometimes you end up with something better, maybe. I'm finding that every so often this lighter cord wants to slide and kind of buckle. So what I am doing is, see how this is falling down and not lying flat? All I'm doing is lifting it forward and putting a little tiny touch of glue just here and there to keep it lying nice. This is the basket. Now, I don't like how I started it, but this is all undone, meaning none of this is attached. So I'm actually going to take out the beginning rows and I think it's because it all unraveled and it's just not very smooth. So I'm going to take out these beginning rows and I'm going to do them over, and we'll see whether or not I have enough. I just have this much of the jute left, or whether I do some more of the cream, which I quite like how that turned out. I'm kind of liking the double contrast. So I'm just going to kind of undo these beginning sections and kind of instead take it from where it kind of started messing up and merge in the other one, much the same as we merge these in, and go from this section that looks good in toward the center, and see if we can just kind of smooth that out a little bit. I got a much better rhythm as I went, and the rest looks kind of cool and lovely. So I'm just going to fix the center now. So I finished this to here and it looks way better. But I don't know if you guys can see. Let me see if I hold something in behind. This is not solid. And I had thought to maybe take the white going here and there, but then it kind of bulges. So what I've decided instead is I'm going to take the cream, and I've just started rolling it snail-wise, and I'm going to drop that snail down into a dab of glue to start it. And then I'm going to take this around itself spiral-wise until it's big enough for me to fit in that center. It'll be a little raised, and I'm okay with that. So I'm just going to finish this off and then let it cool and then add it to the base of my basket. And this is the finished basket. And I think it turned out really pretty cute, especially for one of those, you know, stainless steel icky baskets that I thrifted for $2.50. And all of the cording that I used was from the dollar store. So under 10 bucks total at most. And it's just more decorative and it's cute and I made it and I'm happy with that. So don't overlook those little, you know, stainless steel things, even if you think that you don't need them. This is just one use for them. I have other thoughts and I have other ones in behind me waiting for me to be doing something with them. So let me know what you think of this one. Let me know if you want to give it a try. Love to hear your comments as always, and looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Until then, take care.